What is up, my Shadowverse soldiers, and welcome back to another Shadowverse Evolved video. Alright soldiers, in this video we're going to be doing the Havenncraft reveals. I am not sure what's going to be coming out of Havenncraft. I have actually dropped off quite a bit after a couple of sets for the Havenncraft. I know in Cinderella Girls we got a bit of a buff with an amulet that can banish stuff, but I wonder what's going to be coming out in set 7. Alright, so looking at our first card, we have Lamonia Flawed Saints, which is a 3-cost 3/2. You can evolve her for 7, and when she comes into play, you put a repair mode into the EX area. You can also activate by banishing a repair mode in your EX area, and this turn subtract 1 from this card's evolve cost. So alright, so a pretty interesting ability for this legendary. For however many repair modes you have in your EX area that you're able to subtract with this activate ability, you can reduce his evolve cost from being 7 and not using all of your play points to just play this card and then evolve it. So I like that workaround, and you can already reduce it by 1 from this card's fanfare. Alright, and we have Lamonia Evolves, which you turn into a 5/4, but on Evolve you destroy all followers on the enemy field. You can activate for using 0 play points. You can choose an Machina follower with original cost of 2 or less from your graveyard, put it onto the field, and this effect can only be used once per turn. Alright, so it seems like it's going to be pretty worth to evolve this card because it's going to be destroying all the followers on your enemy's field, but also using this activate to play a Machina follower from 2 or less from your graveyard is pretty nice as well. Alright, and we have Lapis Glorious Seraph, so it's a 5-cost 3/7. So ward, when this card leaves the field, for each prayer counter on this card you draw a card, and at the start of your end phase, choose a card on your field and put a prayer counter on it and add 2 to your leader's health. Alright, so it looks like Statue Seraph got a little bit of a buff. I like that for this card. And also the fact that you can just choose which one you want to do. You can either put it on the Statue Seraph if you run it in your deck, or you can just put it on this card, and then for however many prayer counters you have, you can draw cards, and then also when you're adding the cards, you will be adding 2 to your leader's health. Alright, next we have Father Refinement, so he's a 5-cost 4/4. He has Rush, but when he swings you draw a card, and if there are 5 or more repair modes in your EX area, you draw 2 instead. When he comes into play, you put 2 repair modes into your EX area and you recover 2 play points. Alright, so this looks like it's going to be the card that's going to be in the deck that's going to really boost up the deck a lot. So putting the 2 repair modes and recovering the 2 play points is just very good. And then just having this Rush Strike effect to draw a card, and then if you have the 5 repair modes, you get to draw 2. Alright, and next up we have Marlone Light of Balance, so he's a 3-cost 3/3. You can evolve him for 1, and when he comes into play, you put a repair mode into each player's EX area. Alright, so it looks like this is going to be one of those cards where you play it on 3 and then you get a fanfare effect, and then you want to evolve it to get more effects out of it, so you can get another effect and then you can potentially swing into a body. Alright, and looking at the Marlone Evolve, so he turns into a 4/4, but on Evolve you choose a follower on the enemy field with an original cost of X or less, destroy it. X equals the number of cards in your EX area. Alright, so the maximum this card is going to be destroying a follower is for 5 or less because it's only going to count your EX area, which is pretty cool too. And then you can swing him into another body if you need to. Alright, next up we have Augmentation Bestowal, so it's a 2-cost spell. You can choose one of the following. You can either 1, banish 2 repair modes in your EX area and search for a Machina follower with an original cost of 3 or less from your deck and put it onto the field. Or you can 2, banish 5 repair modes in your EX area, search for a Machina follower with an original cost of 6 or less from your deck and put it onto the field. Alright, so I'm really enjoying where set 7 is going with Shadowverse Evolve in general, because back in the early days of Shadowverse, we were wondering, hey, are we going to draw into our legendary this game? I'm not sure. We're going to have to work around it, use our other golden legendary cards. Well, our gold legendary cards are going to be searching through our deck to just straight up play them. Alright, but moving on, we have Rabita Administrator, so she's a 2-cost 2/1. When she comes into play, if this card comes into the field from anywhere other than your hand, you choose a follower in the enemy field and deal 3 damage to it. You can activate by using 1 play point and discarding this card. You can add 1 to your leader's health, and you put this card as the 3rd card from the top of your deck. So a pretty interesting ability, especially on the activate by discarding this card and, adding 1 to your health and then putting it on the top 3rd. I wonder what kind of card is going to be able to get her, or what kind of card is going to be able to play her outside of your hand. Alright, next up we have Robo Falcon, so it's a 2-cost 1/3. You can evolve her for 1, and this card has Storm, but Strike, put a repair mode into your EX area, and if there are 3 or more repair modes in your EX area, this card gets +1 attack. Alright, want to give a shout out to all my Storm Haven players out there. You got some food for thought here. This is something you might look at into the future in putting cards in because it's a Storm follower. But for the Machina players who are going to be playing it for the traditional deck, you can make a repair mode, and then this just constantly makes a repair mode by swinging into leader or swinging into a follower, stuff like that. And as long as they have 3 or more repair modes in your EX area, it gets +1 attack. Alright, and looking at the Robo Falcon Evolve, so it turns into a 2/2 and it still has Storm, and then still has that Strike ability to perp a repair mode into the EX area, but on Evolve you put a repair mode into the EX area. So not only when you just swing with this card you're going to be getting a repair mode, but you also get to evolve this follower and you can put a repair mode into it, so you can go ahead and start off with 2. Alright, but moving on, we have Markate, Heretical's sister. So she's a 2-cost 1/3, and she has Ward. When she comes into play, you draw a card, and if there are 5 cards in your EX area, you search for a card from your deck instead, and you put it to your hand. Alright, so if you're really going for a huge setup turn, I think the Father Refinement and this card are probably going to go hand in hand, since you do get to recover 2 play points, and then putting the 2 cards in your EX area might give you a total of 5 if you play it correctly. And then having those 5 cards, instead of just drawing a card with the Heretical Sister, you can just go ahead and search for whatever card that you need and put it to your hand. Alrighty, next up we have Iron Knuckle Nun. So she's a 2-cost 2/3, and she has Ward, but Fanfare and Last Words, you put a repair mode into your EX area. Alright, so not bad for a bronze card, just playing this on 2 to go ahead and put a repair mode in there, and then she has Ward, so if you want to ward up and then they have to attack into her, you're going up against aggro, not that bad. You can put another repair mode and already have the 2 up, so you can probably go for the Robo Falcon or something like that. I think that's pretty interesting. Alright, next up we have Black Bishop. So he's a 4-cost 3/3, and you can evolve him for 1. Alright, so looking at the Black Bishop evolve, so he does turn into a 4/4, but on evolve you look at the top 5 cards of your deck. From among them, you may put a Fairy Tale Follower with an original cost of 5 or less, or a Fairy Tale Amulet with an original cost of 5 or less onto the field, and put the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. Alright, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure when it says Fairy Tale Followers, it means Fable Followers. That's what's going to be in the English version. So you can go ahead and get any of the Fable Followers. So if you are still rocking Egg, you have some food for thought here. So looking at the top 5 is very good, because you're able to play the Amulet and or a Fairy Tale Follower, which is nice. Alright, next up we have Meowscar's Rough Tough Major. So he's a 2-cost 1/3. He has Storm, but Strike. You choose an enemy leader or a follower on the enemy field and deal 1 damage to it. So some more food for you Storm Haven players out there. So you can play this follower, it has Storm, and it can swing for extra if you have the Ruby Falcon, and then its strike ability also swings for an extra 1. Alright, but next up we have Saintly Core, so it's a 1-cost amulet. So Fanfare, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. From among them, you may put a Machina card into your hand, put the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. You can also activate by engaging this card and putting this card into your graveyard. You put a repair mode into the EX area. This effect can only be used if you have 2 or more Machina followers on your field. So like I said before, I really enjoy the fact that they have this many Machina cards that are going to be in every single class. So Machina is going to be in every single class, and they have cards like this or something like that if you have Machina, and I really enjoy that. Alrighty, and lastly we have Sneak Attack. So it's a 1-cost amulet. When it comes into play, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck. From among them, you may put a Havenncraft follower into your hand, and you put the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. You can also activate for 1 play point to engage this card and put it into your graveyard. You may put a follower with Meowscar's in its name from your hand onto the field. Alright, so it's nice that you get to look at the top 3 with this card to go ahead and get any Havenncraft follower, but also using this 1 play point and putting it into the graveyard for the very next turn maybe. You can play that Meowscar's you might have got off of the top 3, or you know, if you already have it in your hand, just go ahead and play it. And he has Storm, so you can swing with him the very same turn. Alrighty, and lastly, we have the Lapis Ultimate. So this is going to be the card that's going to be putting the prayer counters on either herself or the Instatute Seraph. And I like that she has an ultimate because, you know, the Instatute Seraph looks like a beautiful card and she looks like a beautiful card. But alrighty, soldiers, I want to go ahead and say that I'm sorry that some of these translations that were Japanese and I didn't really get the English translations until this week. So for the future videos, we're going to be having the actual English translations where it's going to say, you know, Havenncraft followers and stuff like that, and not elf and, you know, rune and witch and stuff like that. We're going to have more English translations. So I'm sorry about that, and we will fix that in the future. But alright, soldiers, thank you so much for watching. That is the end of the video. Make sure you're safe in whatever you do tonight and safe whatever you do for the rest of the year. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Yeah. T-R-I-N-N. Just to get you away. What I got to do. What I got to do. Just to get you away. What I got to do. What I got to do, just to get you away. You pull me too close, now we hesitate. Every single move you make, it makes me feel